Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Clearly Ambiguous. I hope you guys are doing well. What are we talking about today? Well, we are talking about our favorite entertainer, President Trump from United States of America. Now, it seems like he has reiterated the eighth time that he was able to achieve a ceasefire between India and Pakistan. Um, but then again, for the love that this man has standing next to aeroplanes and aircraft just before takeoff, and he has to give those statements and speeches with a jet engine spooling up, probably an advertisement for Boeing because Boeing, probably they're not doing that well. So, yes, anyways, let's not talk about Boeing here. Let's talk about President Trump and his affirmations. I think he has these daily affirmations every day. I have achieved peace here, I have achieved peace there, I have achieved peace in Congo, I have achieved peace in Russia and Ukraine. Of course, none of this is actually true. He was asked whether he would like to achieve some kind of peace in the Middle East, and he says, at this point of time, he's giving Iran about 2 weeks. So he likes to speak in these terms. He still thinks that entire apprentice thing still happening, right? He's giving somebody 2 weeks notice, this, that, and the other. But while we are amused by President Trump and whatever he is up to in recent times, another thing he mentioned that when he was asked. So, of course, there's a planted question where he has been asked whether he's doing this for a Nobel Peace Prize, and he says, you know what, they will never give it to me, they'll always give it to the liberals, so on and so forth. But if you're not bothered about it, right, why do you keep speaking about it? Why are you... So he tries to play this game of chicken, and I think right now the world leaders, most of them who do a lot of lateral thinking, and they engage with countries and people and companies and everything, a lot of things happening at the same time. I think President Trump is alien to that. Multitasking is just not his thing. He just chooses one thing and then he keeps narrating that over and over again. Whether it is giving him any benefit out of it, I don't think so. But then again, he makes you believe that he is. Okay. While this is all happening, we'll come back to our chief source of entertainment in a while. But while this was happening, G7 happened, right? And although there was a lot of statements made in India about Prime Minister Modi not getting invited, then getting invited. We're not going to that. Let's go into the fact that Prime Minister Modi was invited and he was present in Canada, where Canada for last couple of years has been, sliding in a downward path towards diplomacy with India. And it was good to see that now certain diplomatic steps have been taken. The ambassadors will be exchanged and so on and so forth, which is a good sign because this is how civilized countries work, and that's what you do. So that is good. Of course, would things change very easily and within a short period of time? I don't think so. We are not that big a trade partner with Canada, and Canada is not a big trade partner with us. So, there's nothing much we can do in terms of saying, when it comes to negotiations. But the thing is that we are talking again. And I think this government in Canada right now is a little bit more receptive to the Indian point of view as well. Another thing that was happening in G7 is while everybody else was meeting, the bonhomie was being shared between the head of states, like between Prime Minister Modi and the French president, or with Prime Minister Modi and the Italian head of state. President Trump had to excuse himself from G7 and had to go because he had to focus more on what is happening in the Middle East, and he had to meet his newfound friend Munir, who went all the way from Pakistan over there selling his minerals or whatever he is promising, because that's what he is doing. Because President Trump is transactional. That all that he is looking for right now, anywhere in the world, is minerals. And he speaks only about those countries, and he speaks only about those deals where he is getting some form of these so-called minerals, right? And that's the reason why probably he's interested in Pakistan, because there is a lot of minerals in Balochistan. He spoke about him getting peace in Congo because, again, minerals. Okay, let's get back to another thing that I was going to discuss. So, yes, we'll come to Trump and his obsession, newfound obsession for minerals and crypto deals with countries who have very questionable character when it comes to state-sponsored terrorism. But what was happening in the other parts of the world? Now, what was happening in the other parts of the world was, where did it go? St. Petersburg Economic Forum, Industrial and Economic Forum was happening, right? And leaders from South Africa, Bahrain, the president of, his name is a little difficult. I'll definitely try to make the best of it. He had a very interesting, yes, so his name is Prabowo Subianto. So please excuse me if I have not been able to pronounce that right, but I'm trying. So Prabowo Subianto, who is president of Republic of Indonesia, and I was listening to the speech that he made, and it was very interesting. He not only reiterated the fact that Indonesia follows a policy of non-alignment in presence of the Chinese representative and President Putin, and the representative from Bahrain and from South Africa as well. He was able to mention that their policy is essentially of non-alignment, but then again, they are ready to engage with anyone who believes in progressing together and believes in helping each other grow further. While this is happening, while most world leaders still are speaking, see, everybody has their selfish agendas, but at least the thing that they end up saying on forums like such is that they believe in inclusive development and they are not looking for any specific deals, and they will never speak about this, right? So, although they'll do that, everybody does that, everybody is looking for their own interests, but they do not like to say it in front of people that basically the only reason they are meeting is for a transactional relationship. They will never speak about friendship, so on and so forth. Unlike our chief entertainer, President Trump, who basically is, he's not even trying to hide it, that he is basically in there for the business. And while this is happening, what he is doing is he's alienating the rest of the world. I think he has already lost President Putin when he did that entire Oval Office fiasco with President Zelensky. I think he has already lost President Xi Jinping's ear. He keeps saying that he's a good friend, so on and so forth, but President Xi Jinping is in no hurry to praise President Trump, although they'll do that at any point that they meet in future. But then again, I think he's lost him as well, because he's ended up doing that deal where he thinks he's come out the winner. But then again, you have negotiated and Chinese have negotiated as well, and they've got their part of the deal. So, you know what? You had to make some concessions. So, please don't say that, you just brought somebody down and you were able to beat them down with your tariff things. I don't think so that works. I think that only works in President Trump's fantasies. But then again, let's come back to another thing. Then he keeps reiterating this, saying that he's been able to make peace. And the reason why he's saying it again and again is because he recently received an endorsement from Munir that Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize. Look, who's endorsing, first of all? Chief of an army who as a policy propagates terrorism in neighboring countries and other countries, is endorsing a businessman president for Nobel Peace Prize. Amazing. So yeah, I think if other tyrants in history were around today, we should probably endorse them for peace prizes as well. Because in the end, after they did all the destruction, there was eventually peace. So yes, we should basically reward every tyrant in the history with a Nobel Peace Prize. Now, I think the latest person he's losing by what he's doing right now when it comes to his policy, and he's doing that playing chicken with Iran. It seems that I'm giving you 2 weeks. We have see. I don't understand what he says when he says we have complete control over the skies over Iran. So if you have complete control, and the only problem is that there is this one nuclear site that you have to bomb, and it has to be bombed by this one bomb. So you control the skies and you send that one bomb, and that's it. You've achieved your objective. Basically, that's the reason why you have started this entire war, so to speak. So the objective, see, Israel keeps saying, Benjamin Netanyahu keeps saying that, they cannot have a nuclear Iran, right? Fine, and they are doing everything to ensure that Iran does not get a nuclear weapon. And I think that is what the Americans are trying to say as well, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And if destroying this particular nuclear site is going to ensure that they do not have, then do it. Because you say you have complete control over the skies, and you have the means to do it, then do it. What's stopping you? But we'll still try to bring them to negotiating table. So what would you negotiate with them? That, see, we did not destroy it, so you destroy it. I think, do you ever think in the wildest dream Iran is going to do that? They're going to say, you know what, thank you so much that you did not destroy our underground facility, but that is what you want us to do, so we will just go to that underground facility and destroy it ourselves. Who is President Trump kidding? And I'm sorry, I'm being a little dramatic right now, but then again, well, you know the man. He tries to be as dramatic as possible. He likes to give those interviews standing in that door like this these days in the aircraft and says, he comes out and says something like that. And he stopped doing this. He should do that more often, because till the time he was doing those things, he kind of made more sense. These days he wears that MAGA cap and, does not move his hands as much. I think if he moved his hands more, he would probably, I think his hands, if he moves his hand more, he makes more sense. If he does not move his hands, he actually makes no sense whatsoever right now. And he right now is again, probably indulging in that original thing that, Pakistan is an ally, and Pakistan, we have to move Pakistan away from China so that you can. You think if the Americans, see, so I think the reason why somewhere the American deep state thinks that let's go back to Pakistan. Let's eventually, they're doing a regime change operation, so to speak, in Iran, right? They like to change regimes. First of all, I don't understand this. Why can't people just have their own governments? You don't want them to have nuclear weapons, fine, destroy their nuclear weapons. But no, you have to change a regime. You have to have somebody there who allows you to exploit the resources of that country so that you can take them back to your industrial complex. And the countries who do not do that are not good for you. That's probably the reason why he does not mind offending the Indians right now, because he knows, you know what, essentially Indians do not help us out anything else but human resources, and I want my people to start working again, so I don't need resources, those human resources from India, and India is not going to give them the minerals to make their car batteries, so on and so forth. So probably Pakistan is going to allow that in Balochistan, while at the same point of time Pakistan is trying to think that, you know what, if we'll have American interests here, then probably the Baloch rebellion can be crushed, so on and so forth. So win-win for everyone. That would be really, really. If that's what they think, that's how easily it works, because it probably has worked before for them, right? And probably at that point of time, they were dealing with a weaker world and a less technical world, because, in today's world, see, in maybe 20, 30 years back, if somebody did not give the cryogenic engine technology to the Indians, it probably took Indians another 20 years to develop those great space program and great missile program, so on and so forth. But then again, if he thinks that, okay, fine, I could not give you this technology and not give you that technology, he thinks that probably the Indians won't develop it. Well, does not take that long to figure it out. Look at China. China has practically reverse engineered everything and now is making strides in AI, which probably Americans just playing catch. It's just that Americans, the entire advertising is better, and probably Chinese just allow that to happen, and they are probably keeping everybody in the lull that they probably control the AI narrative more than Americans think that they do. Anyways, that's a different thing. So, I don't understand why President Trump is doing this, but of course he thinks he has a bigger plan. And I think everybody else in the world has seen through him right now. And he is probably not understanding that the signals that nobody wants a unipolar world where America is the strongest nation in the world, where it basically bullies everybody else, right? And the rest of the world just does not care. They think that they can make alliances and they can probably do better by not even doing any trade or anything. See, if you look at it this way, Americans were doing this great thing of aid work they were doing, right? US aid was, and it was said that, they were giving this US aid, and if they stopped this aid, the world would be in chaos. Do you think that's happened? The only thing that has happened is that people who were surviving on the dole of the dough of the Americans, yes, probably need to find other jobs, but it really didn't make much of a difference to the world. And I think everybody is just now waiting it out and hoping that he comes to his senses, or probably somebody just gives him a Nobel, because he's so desperate right now for that Nobel. Somebody please give it to him. At least somebody give him an Oscar. Give him something. No. So I think he needs the Nobel. Please give him the Nobel. That's all I wanted to rant about today. Because, and I know this conversation that I've had with you right now makes no sense, but then again, most of what is coming out of the US President's office right now does not make sense. His whole country is in turmoil. He keeps trying to arm twist leaders of the world who he thinks are leading countries, because they are not there economically, probably those. I think Trump is living in a fallacy world where he thinks that if USA does not exist, the world would cease to exist. Actually, the world will do better if United States of America ceases to exist. And I mean that not in the physical sense. It's just that if it just goes back on the type of bullying tactics that they're using with regards to economy, with regards to conflicts, regime changes, so on and so forth. Everybody is waiting right now, waiting and watching, because nobody sees any good coming out of it. And he keeps complaining about the fact that nobody is giving him enough coverage. Probably people should give him enough coverage, because that's what he said in so many words, that you guys did not speak about it. Well, you guys should speak about it, probably the media, the mainstream media. Please speak about it. He is doing so much for the world right now, and nobody is recognizing it. Of course, nobody will recognize it, because the countries that he is saying and the conflicts that he is saying he is stopping are not stopping. They are going on. So anyways, That's about it. I don't think so. That's about it. I'm just tired right now because. Anyways, thanks for watching. Until next time, please do like, share, and subscribe, and share your views in the comment section. We don't mind. We are open-minded of all kinds of comments coming in, because that, of course, tells you who thinks what, and we can probably do content based on that as well. So, anyways, until next time, you take care of yourself. Bye for now.